How dangerous is it in San Diego, and what is the crime rate like in 2022? We're gonna talk all about it next on Jaycation. What's up, Jaycationers? Welcome back to another video here in the San Diego series. Today we're gonna do a little bit different of a video, and we're gonna talk about the crime rates in San Diego and just how dangerous it is in San Diego in 2022. And I did a lot of research, outlined this entire video, got some statistics from SANDAG, which is the San Diego Association of Governments. We will talk about the different types of crimes that are being committed throughout the city. In 2021, overall crime in San Diego County was up 13%. And I do understand that all across the nation, because of the pandemic and people staying home, that there was more crime. So crime was definitely up, not just in San Diego, but everywhere else. And I just recently saw in the news that homicides in 2022 are up 80%, which is an alarming rate. Although at the start of the pandemic, San Diego was experiencing 42-year lows, and the numbers are still pretty low compared to the 80s and the 90s, violent crime is up 8%, and in 2021 we saw homicides up 3%, rape up 11%, and 12% for aggravated assaults. One is already one too many. And although San Diego is considered one of the safest large cities in the nation, it's still good to be aware of what types of crimes are being committed throughout the county. During the midst of the pandemic, I actually know someone who left an appointment in downtown, was walking to their car, and they felt somebody following them from behind. And you know that creepy feeling when, somebody's following you? Well, that person definitely recognized that and started running to their car, tried to get into their driver's seat and close the door, but by the time they got to their driver's seat and closed the door, the mentally ill person had their arm into the door and was able to stop it, and they had a big scuffle. The victim was able to kick the person out and close the door and drive away, but the damage had already been done, and that person had to get nose surgery. And guess what? They never caught that person that committed that assault. So if you think that San Diego is super safe, you really never know. Here's a disturbing fact. Over the last 12 months, there have been 12 homicides in San Diego parks throughout the county. Just one homicide is already one homicide too many, and talking to the San Diego police, and lower staffing has led to slower responses when it comes to incidents like this, which have led to an escalation of murder or assault. There has also been an increase in ghost guns. Ghost guns are unregistered firearms, and a lot of these crimes that have been committed and police seize these weapons, they turn out to be unregistered. So the shortage of police force has led to a longer response time, leading to higher escalation of these issues and these crimes being committed. The San Diego police have been trying to hold job fairs and other ways to recruit more people into the force, and they say that they have still been able to fill their quota of getting 50 recruits into the academy every quarter. They're still able to bring in people, but what I am hearing is that there are a lot of police who are leaving the force and becoming civilians. There has also been an alarming rise in property crime around San Diego County, and some of these neighborhoods that these property crimes are being committed will alarm you. There are places that you wouldn't think would be on this list. Let's mention these 4 places. We got Coronado. There has been a mention of a lot of property theft in Coronado lately. Encinitas, Valley Center, and Escondido. So if you're either living in that area or run a business in that area, make sure you either have a really great security system, lock up, and find extra ways to keep your business or your home safe. And according to the news, they say that only 1/3 of this theft has been recovered. So there's only a 1 in 3 chance of you getting back what was stolen. And there was a statistic that said over $600,000 per day throughout San Diego County is taken away via theft. It has also been reported on the news that car theft is up 20% around San Diego County, and there have been incidents of people stealing gas. That's right. Gas prices have gone so high that there are thieves out there trying to steal gas from your parked car on the street. Other incidents that are happening are thieves trying to steal catalytic converters, and there have been a couple of reports from San Marcos up in North County of catalytic converters being stolen. Make sure you are securing your car, maybe park it in the garage at night. Make sure nothing's visible in the seats or around the chairs. Make sure you're hiding it or you take it into your house or your office with you, because there is an uprise in car theft, and catalytic converters can be stolen real quick, like within minutes. One thing that I see a lot of that can lead to crime and assault is road rage on the streets. And just recently I heard a teenager just open fire on a police officer with a case of road rage. I see it a lot, especially when it's traffic on the freeways here in San Diego, and people in the parking lots getting impatient looking for parking, or somebody getting cut off on a side street. There is a lot of road rage here because tensions are definitely high. Being in the midst of the pandemic and just life in general, that doesn't make it right, but road rage definitely exists around California even more because of the heightened traffic. If you guys haven't seen my how to use public transportation video in San Diego, check it out after this one. And if you're wondering if it's safe, I felt pretty safe on San Diego public transportation, but just a few weeks ago, there was an altercation on a public transit bus where somebody was trying to get in the middle of an argument. Somebody ended up dying from it, and that just was all over the news here in San Diego. In the trolley at night, sometimes you're gonna get some mentally unstable people riding the trolley up and down. And when I got on the Blue Line on the way to Petco Park to a Padres game, once I passed Santa Fe train depot and headed towards 12th and Imperial, we were on C Street, and I noticed a lot of homeless encampments between these stops and some mentally ill people getting on the bus. You can hear them yelling, and it's really unfortunate. And to see all those homeless encampments being lined up around the post office in downtown San Diego, in East Village, the San Diego Public Library, it's really sad to see. Right now there are over 1,300 homeless in downtown San Diego. It's just been getting worse. I haven't seen so many tents up on the streets than ever before. It's always been a problem around that area of downtown San Diego, but even more now. In 2021, juvenile crime was also on the rise here in San Diego, and it was due to a lot of kids not quite being back to school yet in person and being at home cooped up and being able to escape and get into trouble. Let me tell you a little story. Last year I was filming in a specific area of San Diego, and it was in broad daylight, and I was over at a park taking a picture of a mural. I wasn't even using my nice camera, I was using my iPhone to take a picture of a mural for a video I was doing, and a 14, 15-year-old kid came up to me and says, "Hey, you might want to put that camera down." And you could kind of tell he wanted to get a little more confrontational, but I said, "Okay, cool, I'm just gonna leave the situation." Then another girl, same age as him, said, "Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea for you to do that." And I was just literally taking a picture of a wall. So I left, nothing happened, but you could tell these kids were trying to push to get into some sort of trouble. For that reason, I haven't filmed a video in that area of town yet. Eventually I will, because I do believe it's a nice area of town that has a lot of great eateries. I just don't want to name the name of the area. I have read in that park at night, people have gotten shot and killed in the past. So yeah, I didn't think it was a good idea to go back there or stay and film a mural. It wasn't worth it. San Diego is home to a huge population of Asians, and there has been a definite uptick of Asian hate crimes all over the United States, unfortunately, and San Diego is not excluded from it. Just recently, I saw a story of an elderly Laotian man getting abused, and a picture of him in his hospital bed, which is really, really sad to see. And unfortunately, it happens. So if you see something, you have to stand up and say something. That's what's got to happen. Whether it's an Asian hate crime or anything illegal for that matter, see something, say something. Dial 911. Let the authorities know about it. That's what the police chief said on the news. See something, say something. Back to the topic of firearms. There have been an enormous amount of illegal, unregistered ghost guns being recovered by the police in these crime investigations. It's just kind of an alarming rate to see how many crimes have been committed with unregistered guns. The next question is, when do I personally feel unsafe here in San Diego? Well, it's just in certain areas of town, and it's usually at night when I'm by myself. Sometimes I'm out filming late. If I'm out by myself, yeah, it's definitely sometimes a little scary walking to your car. Now, here's a tip. Never look at your cell phone when you're walking to your car. Always be aware of your surroundings, know where you're at. For me, when I'm walking to my car and I do feel a little unsafe, what I do is I grab my keys, I grab my car keys, and I kind of put them here on my fist like this. So if somebody were to approach me and attack me, I have something sharp. Another thing you can do is have a can of pepper spray on your keychain. I actually just ordered one on Amazon so I could get one for my keychain. And I have seen a few of my friends in New York carry pepper spray because there have been some mentally unstable people attack them. And I have a friend of a friend that was attacked while he was live streaming in the middle of broad daylight in New York. What did he do? He said, I have pepper spray. The guy didn't back off. He was about to physically abuse him. So he unleashed the whole bottle of pepper spray on his face and he was able to run away. And I felt really bad for him. And I know that was over in New York and not San Diego, but that could easily happen here. When you're out in areas like Ocean Beach, Pacific Beach, Moonlight State Beach in the parking lot area, or parts of the Embarcadero, definitely all over the Gaslamp Quarter. Make sure you're always aware because somebody can easily approach you, something bad can happen. So just make sure you're aware of your surroundings. There are a lot of mentally ill people out and about. The one time I felt most unsafe during the pandemic was when I went into Gaslamp and it just became dark and I was live streaming around 4th Avenue and 5th Avenue. I really felt like there were eyes on me and people were following me. Maybe there wasn't, maybe there was, and there was one point where I did look over across the street and I did acknowledge a person that was talking to themselves. They saw that I was noticing them and then they ended up walking away. So just make sure you're aware. In the past, a lot of incidences that have happened of assault have been happening on hiking trails. So you might want to keep your earbuds down or maybe just have one earbud on. Places like Balboa Park, you never know, somebody might jump out of the bushes. Just make sure you're keeping an eye out. Another place I feel a little bit unsafe around is in the Midway district. Usually I'm there during the day and usually I'm going into places like Target or Dick's Sporting Goods. You're totally fine, but in the parking lot over there, they do have police cameras set up in different stations of the parking lot. So that just goes to show you how much crime is being committed around that area. Just taking precautions around the Point Loma Midway district. You ask, what are ways to prevent this from happening? If you see something, obviously say something. And I do understand that there are slower response times when it comes to police coming into these situations, but you gotta let authorities know, especially if you're witnessing a crime going on. So make sure you dial 911. Other resources that you can check out are various Facebook groups, especially if you're somebody that's living here and you're in a certain neighborhood. I'm actually part of a Mira Mesa Neighbors Facebook group, and you know, you're from Mira Mesa When Facebook group and my It's Always Sunny in San Diego Facebook group. And every now and then people will post suspicious things going on, just happenings around that particular neighborhood. Just see if there's a Facebook group of the neighborhood where you're living and see if people are posting there on the regular, because that could also be a valuable resource in finding out what's happening around your area. And like I said, San Diego is still one of the safest, largest cities in the nation. A lot safer than places like Houston, New Orleans, or even Los Angeles. It is fairly safe here and we are still experiencing 42-year lows, but there still has been an uptick in crimes. If we can get those numbers back down, it really makes a difference because one crime is one too many. All right, Jaycationers, so I'm not really used to doing videos like this. Usually it's me showing you the newest tips and recommendations around town, but I felt that it was a topic that should be talked about, and a lot of you have been asking questions about how safe is San Diego and how crime is like here in San Diego. I hope you found this information useful. Comment down below if there's anything that I missed out. If you want to check out my pros and cons of living in San Diego video, I'll leave it right up here, and we'll see you in the next video. And in the words of Jaycation, stay traveling, San Diego.